Okay, so this video was supposed to be finished around December last year, but yeah. Don't hate me, Wooting. Hope we can work together again soon. In Osu, there are a few things that you need to play the game. Whether it may be a mouse or tablet, a laptop or PC, but the one peripheral that brings together all of these things is the keyboard. The ability to click, catch, bang, or smash circles all revolves around the keyboard. And in the past years, there's been a certain keyboard that took over the Osu community by storm, with its brand new unique gimmick that it brings to the mechanical keyboard space, the Wooting, or rather, the rapid trigger. This feature had taken the keyboard space by storm, and over the past year, I've seen multiple videos of Osu standard players going absolutely crazy over this keyboard. Even the custom keyboard community were taken aback by this, and so that got me thinking, does the Wooting help in Osumania? And so I DM'd the guys over at Wooting, and they were so kind enough to send over a free Wooting 60HE for me to make this whole video on. Thank you so much, Sander, and sorry for this video being late. And about 2 months later, it's here. Upon opening the box, you're instantly greeted with the 60HE, as well as a custom USB Type-C Wooting branded cable, and a little bag containing some extra switches and screws if you decide to mod this keyboard. And of course, the most important part of the package that makes Wooting stand out from all the others is their nylon take control strap. Upon first lifting the keyboard out, you can already tell how portable this keyboard is, with its plastic build making it super light so you're able to carry it with you wherever you go. Unfortunately, the keyboard comes with not the best keycaps, as it may come off as cheap, but it's the features inside the keyboard that really makes the price point worth it to some. The 60HE comes with pre-loop switches, as well as some high quality memory foam inside, making the sound profile stand out much more than the others. Here's a sound test of what it sounds like.
Pain.
You're not supposed to touch it.
I'm sorry. Okay. You really wanna use this?
Later down the line, I might mod this keyboard to make it sound better, so subscribe to the channel to see that in the future. But you probably don't really care for this and just want to see and hear my thoughts on the keyboard and how it performs. And so I plugged in the keyboard and decided to test out the rapid trigger. But what is rapid trigger? Well, this specific feature within the Wooting's Leka switches allows for your keytaps to activate with any amount of force that you choose to use. This is due to the Wooting's one-of-a-kind Leka switches, which replaces the copper leaves found in your average mechanical keyboard switch, and when touched together, activates your key press. However, Wooting uses this thing called Hall sensors, which are found under every switch on the PCB, and with magnets under every single switch. So what do the magnets do? Well, within Wooting's software Wootility, you are given the option to activate rapid trigger and adjusting the sensitivity of how much force you want to use to make your key tap activate. So by changing your actuation point to 0.1, your Wooting keys will activate at just the slightest touch. But now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, how does this keyboard perform in Osu? So I booted up the game and tried Osu Standard first. So upon first playing with Rapid Trigger, I most definitely noticed that the response timing of my taps were way more accurate than any other keyboard I had used before. But almost too accurate to the point where I was way too early to the circles, resulting in many 100s than what I'm used to. But when I switched to Mania, I started noticing something. I was hitting more, but at the same time, missing more. Oh my god, I was so late there, but it saved me. Okay, I definitely feel it on those like long trills, or really fast trills. I usually miss there, but I actually didn't. Interesting. Okay, so the one thing that I've noticed when I'm playing with this keyboard is that I hit a lot more, but I lose a lot more, if that makes sense. I lose a lot more accuracy, but I feel like I'm hitting more. As I began to play with the Wooting more, I noticed that with the lack of the rubber feet on the back, I began getting more tired quicker and my wrists were in a bit of pain compared to my old keyboard. But disregarding that, I started playing around with different settings to see what worked for me. I also asked the #1 4-key player Muka what his initial thoughts of the keyboard was and what settings he uses. If you guys don't know, Muka is a Chilean player who has set a numerous amount of game-breaking records in the past, and upon receiving the Wooting, had gone on to set Mania's first ever 1000 PP play in 4-key, and currently has the 4-key PP record being 1238 PP on Hall with DT. And he said it didn't take him long for him to adapt, as he already started hitting stuff that to him felt impossible before. And this means that with an adjustable actuation point and response time, the Wooting helped boost him massively. But it also means that not everyone can profit off the rapid trigger feature. And in my case, that was me. Being an accuracy player who typically plays low star maps for leaderboard competition, I tend to bottom out on my switches to get maximum timing precision, and so lightly brushing the switches when playing difficult maps wasn't within my comfort zone. But this doesn't mean that the keyboard is a complete no-go. As of now, I've been playing with this keyboard for over a month, and I've noticed that the comfort of having a low actuation point does give you a sort of safety net to fall back on. If I'm playing a super dense jump stream map that I somehow end up misreading, I'll just unconsciously start mashing, and somehow my combo would be saved. It's safe to say that this keyboard does actually help with speed and your conservation of stamina, but it all depends on how much you're willing to learn and adapt to this new playstyle. Unless your playstyle already revolves around light taps, then this is the keyboard for you. And so, to end off the video, let's list out some final pros and cons of the Wooting 60HE. Let's start off with pros. 1. Its game-breaking features. The game-changing feature of Rapid Trigger allows players to hit patterns that they've never been able to hit before. Additionally, the amount of macros that can be made with this keyboard definitely puts it a leg over the rest of the competition. Just don't use macros for Osu because it could get you banned. Number 2. Portability. This keyboard is slick and very light, making it easy to bring it with you wherever you go. Whether it may be a friend's house or a LAN, it's just really portable and it makes life a whole lot easier. Number 3. Its amazing software. All of your settings are saved onto the keyboard that are fully adjustable through the Wootility software that doesn't even need to be downloaded, as it can be accessed through your browser and all settings will be saved onto your keyboard itself. Number 4. Customizability. The keyboard is hot swappable and very easy to disassemble and customize to your liking. Whether it be needing more lube or tuning the stabilizers, it is really easy to just take apart and put back together. Now let's move on to the cons. Number 1. No adjustable feet. This was my main concern of the Wooting, as it was very hard on my wrists, especially when all of my past keyboards had adjustable feet. The lack of this feature made my experience in longer sessions quite miserable in the long run. Actually, upon recording this, I just realized that the Wooting 80HE that's coming soon actually added the adjustable feet, so that's great that they listened to the feedback of others. But that also brings us to the next point of the price. This is the main factor when deciding whether or not to buy the Wooting keyboard, and the 60HE is currently up at 283 New Zealand dollars or 175 USD. This price point may shy a lot of people away, as well as turn them away to other brands that are taking advantage of the rapid trigger function, such as the Drunk Deer and the Apex Pro. Number 3. Quality. Now this part is very subjective, so take it with a grain of salt. To me, and many others, the plastic case makes this keyboard very good for taking it everywhere you go. However, to some, it may come off as cheap. The same goes for the lackluster stabilizers that were already a little rattly upon first use. For those who aren't experienced in modding or customizing keyboards and just want the pre-built keyboard, this may affect the sound of the keyboard, or you may not even notice at all. And last but not least, playstyle and personal preference. As I've stated in the video already, this keyboard won't make you a god instantly. If you're an intermediate player who's looking for a good keyboard to use, I would say don't trust everything you hear from top players. Things such as how this keyboard can make you drop 1k PP scores on the first day you receive it, yeah, it's not true. It all just comes down to your personal playstyle and whether or not you can push and adapt to the rapid trigger function. Now that begs the question of the entire video, does the Wooting actually help you get better at Osumania? Well, yes and no. I would say that if you're a player that can easily adapt to a new playstyle or lightly brushing the switches to bring out the full potential of the rapid trigger function, then yes, this keyboard will definitely benefit you. But if you're like me, who's used to pressing the switch all the way down to a certain actuation point, then this keyboard will take some time to get used to. If you're also like me, who's a wrist down player and isn't used to playing at a flat angle for long periods of time, you may suffer and risk an injury, so it's best to wait for the ADHD that will come out soon. And if you're a standard player who happened to come across this video, thank you so much for watching in the first place, and I would say that this keyboard is way better for standard than Mania. But at that point, you're better off looking at the Wooting Uwu, as it's way cheaper and way more cute looking. Just look at that. But that's about it for my review on the Wooting. Sorry once again for taking this long to release a new video, as I'm taking things as they come. If you want to support me and my future projects, consider hitting that like and subscribe button, as it will help me with the algorithm. And if you want to support a broke university student, consider joining my membership. But that's about it for now. I have some really big things cooking right now, and I can't wait to have all of you see it. But that's about it. Thanks again, and see ya!